I was working full-time in corporate accounting and finance. I had 3 young children at the time. My husband traveled a lot. My job was very demanding, and I was picking them up as late as I could at daycare so that I could work as long as I could, and then putting them to bed early so I could work more. And I was like, this is not what I want to do with my life. And I just started volunteering. I quit. I volunteered all summer long, and my heart just kept getting pulled into food insecurity, specifically with children, because during the summer months you see a lot of children at food pantries, at soup kitchens, things like that. And I just kept thinking about what happens when these kids are on these long breaks. Like, are there nonprofits addressing that? And after doing lots of research, I didn't find many. So I just kept thinking, like, I think people would want to get behind this. We started about 5 years ago, a little over 5 years, in my garage, serving 97 students at one elementary school in Dublin. And through that, we've just continued to grow. Honestly, I think COVID did a lot of bad, but it did bring food insecurity to the forefront. So people are thinking about it and knowing it's in every neighborhood. It affects every zip code. Feed the Kids Columbus is a nonprofit that helps to feed kids, and we have 2 different programs. One of those programs is to help children over the extended school break. So to us, that means Thanksgiving, the December holiday break, spring break, and then the summertime is the longest extended school break. So what we like to do is to provide food to those students over the time that they would be missing school. So at school, they receive, a lot of them, free breakfast and lunch and snacks through our program. So when they're away from school, they're not receiving those same resources. So we're trying to send those things home with them before the break begins, so that they're not stressing out about where their next meal is going to come from. And then we have a snack program, which I find to be probably more impactful on a daily sort of basis. So we provide snacks inside of the classrooms, the nurses' station, administrators' offices, for those people to give out to their children when they're hungry, when they're unable to focus, when they might have such bad hunger pains that they feel sick.
Being able to help kids from a similar situation, and knowing that you're having a direct impact on the community, and I know firsthand how it is to not necessarily have a meal to rely on. And oftentimes for me growing up, the one consistent meal that I knew that I was going to get during the day was at school. And so seeing that firsthand and being able to play a part in giving these kids the opportunity and kind of a handout to have success. And I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky, and my father was a butler in the South, and my mother had alcohol. She suffered from alcoholism, and my father passed away when I was 8 years old. And after he had passed away, it was really tough on my mom. She didn't have work. She was not really in the right mindset to work. So it was really me raising myself, and through sports and community, I was able to find outlets. So I saw that there was a better future, if you will, and that's really who I am, and what brought me to this point, I guess. Even in your well-to-do areas, there are kids that are struggling to find consistent meals. Oftentimes we see single parents moving into an area and giving it all they have just to put their kids in a better situation, to be in a better school district, and to have a better opportunity, a better future than they had for themselves. So
the kids are just so grateful that we come and that we continue coming back. I think that consistency is showing them that there are people in the world that care, and really for no reason, just because it's the right thing to do. And I feel like that's just fueling kindness out there into the world. It's super rewarding when you have a child coming up to you, thanking you for helping them. But I think it's just the right thing to do. So even if that weren't happening, I think I would still have the same drive. But it's wonderful to see that we really are making a difference. And some of our schools have had really bad behavioral challenges, and we've seen several of them have a really great decrease in those challenging behaviors in this past year. And a lot of that they think is attributed to these kids not being hungry while they're in the classroom.